Again, I'd like to share with you some personal thoughts on an article I was guided to write by Sananda Jesus some time ago on Spiritual Olympians for 2012. Here, my heart became aware of the recent Olympics held in China, and the sheer effort and commitment and the discipline that was involved for our athletes. What mighty companions they were to represent our country, as were all athletes. I mean, the commitment, the dedication, the sheer selflessness. Their mind was focused on the prize. And so too it is for us, who are light bringers of peace in these turbulent times, where mankind seems to have lost the innocence of childhood. They have lost the sense that they are co-creators of the divine. There is a void in many people's hearts today, because they pander, they seek whatever it is that can give them pleasure, and at the same time run away from their truth. With that in mind, I was guided to just reflect on the commitment, the training that our athletes surrender their lives to for the prize of a gold, silver or bronze. And my heart was guiding me to reflect on the spiritual disciplines required of us, particularly today, living in a beautiful world, but with a society that has lost sight of their loving Father, Mother God, the I Am Presence. And I was becoming more and more aware that yes, we are Olympians. We are spiritual Olympians. We are in service to the light. We are truly privileged in this incarnation at this very poignant time of man's evolution. Because 2012 is not very far away. It's only a matter of 16 months, maybe less. And yet we know energetically there are many changes. We know that the earth is evolving. That the earth is evolving. And what's so beautiful is that the animal kingdom are evolving. And we are evolving. We're coming from third through fourth into fifth dimensional energy. There are still quite a number of light bringers who are totally committed to their spiritual path, who are already in sixth dimensional energy, where they can transcend and transmute from their physical body into the presence of God. So to become a spiritual Olympian doesn't necessarily entail that we've got to get up at 3 in the morning, and if, say, we're a swimmer, we've got to put in 10, 12 hours a day practicing our technique. But what we are asked to do is to surrender the heart. Surrender the heart to the divine within us, and to take responsibility for our faith journey, to come away from this nanny culture, this nanny state we live in, where the majority of people need to be told what to do. And I have found that in my work as a therapist and as a spiritual life coach and counselor, where they just totally disregard what the message of God is saying to them. They find it exceptionally difficult, don't they, to discern that message. They try and process it, coming to it from the mind. NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, is not a tool for the spiritual path. But to become that spiritual Olympian, and walk God's talk. All we are asked to do is to remain centered in our God center. And when we open our hearts to the Christ consciousness and the energies of the divine feminine, we become Christed. We become brothers and sisters of Christ. We become his beating heart. We become his hands and his feet. And we bring joy. We bring his peace. We bring his love. We bring the energies of the wise ones. We bring the knowledge base and wisdom of ancient masters. And we are sent a myriad of angels to guide us, to keep us on the straight and narrow, not to take chances, not to gamble or squander the gifts we now know we have. We become a people of prayer, not necessarily in a church building or a synagogue or a mosque, but that we become centered in our soul, in our heart, where we are, what we're doing. We become mindful that we are a child of God. We become mindful that we are of God, that we are one with God, and that if God is for us, then no one can be against us. So it's important to understand the responsibilities given to us as spiritual Olympians. We have to put in the hours in terms of the prayer, by reawakening the heart in silence, by listening, by embracing the language of love, silence, by inviting, invoking and asking the angelic realm, the messengers of love, to come and prepare us so that we can prepare our sacred space, where we can come into the Holy of Holies and there listen as a child dependent upon its parents for spiritual food. It's about having that sense of trust, and it's about honoring what we're given, and it's about having courage. And even though all around us it's gloom and doom, but we live in a beautiful world. We live in the creation of God, the cathedral of God. And nothing is imperfect, only those who choose to ignore their heart. So it is my belief that we are spiritual Olympians in service for 2012. We have been commissioned by the Ascended Masters, the guides, Mother Earth, the Heavenly Mother, Kuan Yin, Magdalena, a whole host of deities from all faiths, all traditions, to come before the Divine One, to surrender our heart, to become part of a spiritual army who will work together, not to proselytize or convert people to an alien life, no, to stay centered, to honor the divine within us, and not compromise our integrity. That's being a spiritual Olympian, and taking the torch of love and light, though invisible to many, but visible to our soul, and letting our light shine as an Olympian for God, an Olympian for the I Am Presence. Let us pray. Father, Mother God, you made us as vehicles of love, a vortex of light. Inspire our hearts this day to rise above our weariness, our weakness, our vulnerability, and empower us to become more available and to walk the simple path of faith, to nurture our heart and our soul and make time to feed it with joy.